Martin Luther King Jr. changed into one of the maximum distinguished figures of the American civil rights movement within the 1950s and 1960s. He changed into born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, and changed into the second infant of Martin Luther King Sr., a pastor, and Alberta Williams King. Growing up, King changed into surrounded with the aid of using a deeply spiritual and supportive own circle of relatives and community, which significantly prompted his later paintings as a civil rights activist. King's early schooling commenced on the Young Street Elementary School in Atlanta, in which he skipped grades and changed into diagnosed as a tremendous student. Later, he attended the David T. Howard School, a segregated faculty for African American children, in which he changed into additionally acknowledged for his instructional achievements. In 1948, King enrolled in Morehouse College in Atlanta, in which he obtained a bachelor's diploma in sociology in 1951. King then went on to Waitt Crozer Theological Seminary in Chester, Pennsylvania, in which he obtained a Bachelor of Divinity diploma in 1951. While at Crozer, King changed into uncovered to the thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi and his philosophy of nonviolent resistance, which might later form King's personal technique to civil rights activism. In 1953, King commenced his doctoral research in systematic theology at Boston University, in which he changed into mentored with the aid of using theologian Reinhold Niebuhr. In 1955, King obtained his Ph.D. and had become Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. King's involvement with inside the civil rights movement commenced in earnest in 1955, after he changed into selected to guide the Bernard Law Improvement Association in reaction to the arrest of Rosa Parks, a black female who refused to surrender her seat on a segregated bus in Bernard Law, Alabama. The Bernard Law bus boycott lasted for greater than a year and changed into the primary large-scale demonstration in opposition to segregation within the United States. During this time, King's residence changed into bombed, and he changed into arrested a couple of times. However, he remained dedicated to nonviolence and civil disobedience as a way of accomplishing social justice. In 1957, King helped to locate the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, an agency devoted to advancing the civil rights movement, the use of nonviolent tactics. In the subsequent years, King led severe protests, sit-ins, and marches throughout the South, regularly going through violence and intimidation from regulation enforcement and white supremacists. King's maximum well-known speech, "I Have a Dream," changed into introduced in the course of the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. The speech known as for and Stop to Racism and for Civil and Monetary Rights for All Americans. The March on Washington is taken into consideration one in every of the biggest political rallies for human rights in United States history. King's dedication to nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience earned him each admiration and criticism. Some considered him as a hero and champion of civil rights, even as others noticed him as a risky radical who threatened the social order. Nonetheless, his advocacy for nonviolence and civil rights might have a long-lasting effect on American society. In 1964, King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work promoting civil rights through nonviolent means. He remained an outspoken advocate for civil rights until his assassination in 1968. April 4, Memphis, Tennessee. King's death sparked riots and protests across the country, and his legacy continues long after his death. King is remembered as one of the most important figures in American history, and his message of nonviolence and equality continues to inspire people around the world. His speeches and writings on civil rights, equality and justice became iconic, and his message of hope and unity still resonates today.